And now we're at section 4, host recruitment, inspiring others to open their homes. Recruiting hosts is about making it easy and appealing. So you need a strategy to recruit hosts to become host of your salons. But how do you convince someone to dedicate their time, resources, and space to your mission, especially if they've never done one like this before? How do you do that? You might be thinking, people are too busy. They don't have the time to host a salon for our mission. But actually, that's usually not the objection. The objection usually is a lack of confidence and an inability to see that they are going to be supported and this is going to be easy. So our job is not only to make them see that this is doable, our job is also to make them feel like this is rewarding and low pressure. That's the key, low pressure. So you want to frame the hosting as an opportunity to make a significant impact in the community, the community that needs this support. You also want to let them know that you are going to be there to support them along the way. And remember, 50% of the people that are going to be invited to the event are going to be from you. The other 50% are coming from the host. So there is a balance there. Also, you want to tell them this is not a fundraiser. This is a friend raiser. So there is no, strong arming or twisting people to give money. The only goal here is to get them to come down and visit your facilities, your people, and the programs that you have in place. So it's low pressure, and it's just to get people to learn about what it is you're doing at your organization. Also, you want to let them know that you're going to be supporting them along the way. You've done many of these. You also want to bring in some testimonials from other individuals that have put on these salons and what they're saying. And I would even put them in touch with some of the individuals, because usually I would say 99% of the time, people that put on a salon, they have a wonderful experience, and they will often do it again the following year if you ask them. I remember a while ago in Santa Monica, we were asking a host to consider putting on a salon, and she'd been to one, so she saw how impactful they were, but she was a little hesitant in doing it. And I told her, I said, hey, it's a joint effort. We're going to be helping you to do this along the way. We're inviting 50% of our people. You invite 50% of yours. And she was still hesitant. And so I said, you know what? The other host that supported us on that did the salon before, can I ask her if she would sort of mentor you and help you along the way, along with us? And would that ease your mind a bit? And she loved that idea. So we brought in sort of a mentor host, and they worked together. In fact, she got even more involved. The mentor loved it, so she wanted to get more involved. And I have to tell you, it was one of the best salons we've ever done. And the host was so pleased. In fact, she asked before we were gone for the evening if she could do it again next year. So just make sure that, you show that there's going to be some impact there, that they're making a difference. You show them that you're going to be there to support them. And then you just make sure that everything is at their disposal, that they are stewarded and supported along the way. And you'd be surprised at how impactful and powerful these salons are when they're put on by a volunteer. Now we're coming to our fourth quick quiz, and it's multiple choice. What is the most important thing to emphasize when recruiting a new host? Number 1, the financial benefit. Number 2, the ease of hosting. Number 3, the social status. Number 4, the impact they'll make. Leave your answers in the comments below. Now, of course, the answer is the impact that the salon will make. And that's really what hosts are looking to do. They're looking to make an impact, but they don't want to fail. They want support. and they want it to be for an organization that they can believe in. So make sure all those things are in place, but the main thing is they want to be able to make an impact. And just remember, the best ask is an invitation to join. Now we're at section 5, resources and training, setting the host up for success. Now, it's very important that you empower your host so that they feel confident. So you want to train them, you want to set them up so that they succeed. So one of the ways I like to do this is I like to give them a mock agenda so they can sort of see what the evening looks like. Then I've created a document that says, what is a salon? It explains exactly what a salon is, and, all down to the very details. And then we provide them with a draft of an invitation that they can edit and send out. And we send it out for them because we want to get their list, their donor list, or I should say their friend list, so we can mail it for them. We don't want them to have to put the stuff in the mail, and we want the donors to be in our donor database. And then once the donor feels like, or I should say the host feels like they have the support. And again, I think one of the big issues that you have to get across is say that this is not a fundraiser, that this is a friend raiser. We're only here to educate and to let people know what it is we're doing in the community, and if they're interested to come down and visit the facilities. So we won't be passing a plate around. That usually relieves the pressure for your host, and they're far more willing to support you by putting on a salon in their home. So to recap, you want to really make sure that you support your host by training them, giving them the information and resources that they need, and then be there for them whenever they have any questions or comments. And if you want to see how to put on a salon, check out this video here. It's how to find 200 new donors in 12 minutes. It's our second video in this series, and it just breaks down exactly what a salon is. So check that out, and you'll see. And what I like to do is I really like to make sure our hosts are feeling comfortable. So I put together a checklist. As I said before, I put together what is a salon. I put together an agenda. I put together an invitation for them. And we have weekly meetings. We go over how many people have RSVP'd. We want to make sure they feel supported along the way. We also tell them that we're going to be bringing some of the beneficiaries there that can talk about the program. We're going to tell them that the president will be there to talk about the program, and we're going to be there to invite individuals to come down and visit the facility and ask us questions. And so it'll be a very rewarding and painless endeavor, because what you really want to do is you want to make sure if you ever want to have another salon, you want to be able to go back to these individuals in this home, maybe in a year or two from now, and do it again. Oh, and one of the things I like to do is I like to keep the hosts informed of what's happening with the people that visited because of their salon. So we give them an update, like, when we see them maybe once a quarter, we say, hey, guess what? Of all of the 50 people that showed up, 25 of them became donors. And this is the amount we raised aggregately. So thank you for your support. It's been amazing. I can't tell you how powerful that is. They feel like they really made a difference, that they're a part of your organization. And it's just a wonderful thing. So here's another tip. Just think of this as host care. You want to make sure you support your host, because the more a host feels supported, the more confident that they feel like they can do this. And the more confident they feel like they can do this, the more likely people will show up, the more likely the event will be a success. And a happy host is a repeat host who will do it again next year and recruit others to do it in different parts of the town. So just take care of your hosts. So this brings us to quick quiz number 5. And this one is a scenario. These are new, so people like scenarios, so I'm going to put one up. So the scenario is a potential host is worried about the time commitment. How do you address it? Leave your answers in the comments below. Now, one way to address this is to make sure you find out that this is the real problem, that this is what the host is really concerned with. And if it is, then you show them the amount of support and training and everything else that you're going to put in place to make sure that it's a quicker and easier situation. Also, you want to make sure that they have access to some of the other hosts that have put them on so that they can get testimonials, ask for questions, comments, but you want to make sure that the host feels like they can do this in a reasonable amount of time. And usually it's about a 2-hour situation. And so it's 15 minutes to sort of get set up, have people come in. People are sort of mingling for about an hour. You start the program. The program's about maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And then you let people ask questions, which is another 10 or 15 minutes. And then you allow people to mingle and talk to the president, talk to the beneficiaries, and then you invite them down to the facility. So it's a pretty quick turnkey situation. But if time is an issue, you want to make sure that you find out that or let them know that it's doesn't take as much time as they would think, and that you're there to support them to make sure it's a quicker, more efficient use of their time. Because when you invest in your host, you're investing in your future. Now we're at section 6, the power of story. This is fueling your cycle. Stories are the engine of this whole process. So share success stories of past salons so that potential hosts can see that these are effective events that help propel your organization. But also share the stories from inside your organization as well as from a host point of view. You want to make sure they know about what it's like, to put on one of these amazing events. And often I remember one host, we were thanking him on the way out, and he said to me, he sort of chuckled and said, "Are you kidding? You just moved me up in my social circle." And he was sort of kidding, but he was also not, because we were doing something bigger than himself, and he was bringing his friends in to see what he was doing and inviting them to be a part of something that was important. So you see how I just told you that story and how it sort of pulled you in and sort of made you say, I think we can do this. It's the same with a host. When you tell them stories about past salons and tell them how they will be fine with all the support that you're going to be giving them through stories and stories of your organization, it just sells itself. And to me, one of the biggest things too is, again, this is a low pressure event. We're not raising funds, we're raising friends. So when you're looking at inviting a host, bring your bag of stories, tell stories about past salons, about what your organization is doing and how the two meet, and how it will be an amazing event, and how people will be talking about it the next day in the community around the water cooler. People will be talking about what an amazing event and what an amazing host for putting that on in their home. And as I said before, after the salon, you want to highlight the impact that the host has made. The number of individuals who became donors, the amount raised over the years, which usually expands, as well as the impact of how many were supported by the funds raised. For example, when I was working at a school and we were putting on salons for scholarships, it cost us $10,000 to educate a student on an annual basis. And so when we raised multiples of $10,000, we would let the host know, hey, from your salon, we brought in $350,000. We sent 35 students to college because of you. So thank you. Do you know how powerful that is? how long lasting that is? Do you think that donor will ever leave us? So after watching this, I challenge you to develop a story. Find a story that you have that you can share with a potential host. And if you've never had a salon, that's okay. What you do is you start with your beneficiaries and how current funds has propelled your units or beneficiaries off to do bigger and better things. So you would go something like this. So, we had one donor last year gave us $10,000, and that put one of our students into college. And what we've been trying to do is come up with a way to propel 30 students like that. So we would like to share our stories, in small gatherings in people's homes. So we call these salons. And we think by sharing our story, we can make a bigger impact and send more students into college. So you start with a story of your organization. And then once you have that salon and it's a success, you can now add on, hey, we've sent 35 students to college and it came from this salon that Mrs. Smith put on. Would you consider putting one on as well? It's hard to say no. So now we're at the closing and the challenge. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to challenge you. And this is how you build a movement, not just a moment. By nurturing your donors and empowering them to become hosts, you're creating a cycle of generosity and impact that's ongoing. As I said before, and I keep saying, this isn't just about fundraising. This is about building a community that supports your mission. So your challenge of this week is to identify a potential host of a salon and reach out to them. And don't wait. That spark we were talking about, it needs to be fanned and turned into a flame. And so I want to thank you for joining me on this journey and this fourth of 4 in a series of salons. And just remember, this is one of the most powerful tools that I've ever come across in fundraising and relationship building. And it is the easiest to do, and it is the least costly, and it is by far the most effective. So find a way to bring this about in your organization. This is something you can do to really make a difference, in your organization, a difference in your community, and in the difference in the lives of those individuals you're trying to support. And what ends up happening is you not only raise the funds you need raised, but you are building a community of advocates that supports your mission, and you are preparing for the future of support for your organization. So if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. But more importantly, please share this video with your colleagues and friends who will find this helpful, because our goal is to help all nonprofits and organizations do more with less resources. And this is one way we're able to give back. So please share this video with your friends, your colleagues, and others that might use this information to the betterment of their organization. And please don't forget to check out videos 1, 2, and 3 in this series. This is a powerful, powerful series. And if you are able to institute this in your organization, I guarantee it's a game changer. And do me another favor, write in the comments below, what is your biggest takeaway? What did you find helpful in this video? I would love to know. And then also let me know if you're going to try these salons. I would love to hear that as well. And if you're interested in the Salon Series action plan and toolkit, please send an email to info@wearenfm.com. That's info@wearenfm.com. So until next time, keep cultivating those relationships, keep empowering your donors to become hosts, and keep expanding your reach. I'll see you soon.